Showing up here today. The media and the fans, we're happy to be here. Finally, you know, kind of in New York City. We're getting close. Radio City Music Hall. This is a big deal. There's been a lot of milestones in, you know, in my career here at the UFC and in the time since me and my partners have owned it, and obviously holding a press conference here. And actually, now I was just thinking about this. The first press conference we ever held was here in New York City. And let me tell you what, there was a lot less people than this year. I think there were like 2 media guys from a website. And Tito Ortiz was in the, one of the fighters. And I'll never forget, there were two guys from the media there. They were from some website. I hear you. And they said, hey Tito, I have a question. Blah, 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 blah. They start speaking Spanish to Tito, and Tito says, I don't speak Spanish. They got up and walked out and left the press conference. So that was my first press conference experience in New York. This is much better. Think of this. Shane Carwin's not here right now, obviously. We're hoping he's gonna get here before this press conference ends. Okay, so I apologize for that. Be set up.
The 2009 Fighter of the Year has beaten the best to become the best.
Complete, total domination by George St. Pierre.
But in this game, there's always somebody better. The UK's #1 welterweight believes that he is that somebody.
This fight puts you in line for a shot at the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet.
George Rush St. Pierre versus Dan the Outlaw Hardy for the welterweight title.
Tickets are still available. You can get them at the box office here at Radio City Music Hall. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to set it up so some of the fans can come up and ask some questions of the fighters or whoever. Where are the mics? Right here? And here. Come on, get in here. Whoever wants to come up and ask a question, fire away.
My question is for Dana. Hello. Hi, Dana. I've been to several of the UFCs. Several times I've sat in 2nd row, 3rd row, 4th row. What do you have to do to get 1st row tickets? Is that just like for your guys?
Yeah. Well, what happens is the tickets, there's 2 different sets of front row tickets that we hold for the fighters. Because we have fighters that are coming and we hold those tickets. But there's another 2, there'll be 1 more set of front row tickets that are available, but I'm sure they go really fast.
And I've been right there in front, and there's nothing like that in the world.
No, it's cool. Those are tough tickets. I'm sure they just go so fast, you know.
As a lot of the fighters that we all grew up with are getting older and nearing, let's say, the end of their careers, but they're still very viable fighters, would you ever consider having, like, let's say, a senior division, let's say, and not in like a shitty way, like a nice.
Listen.
No, I understand.
I know you wasn't last 2 fights, but I'm moving you over to the seniors. Since I consideration, who would I be fighting now? Well, there's actually nobody else in the seniors division. But
so you wouldn't consider it?
Did you make such a sick card in New York's backyard to throw it in our face? Legalize this already?
What about it?
Did you do it on purpose? It's such a sick card. I feel like you threw it right in New York's face. Like,
yeah,
get this thing legal, get some hype over here, you know?
We didn't do it to throw it in anybody's face. We did it to, you know, to have the impact we've had. We sold out over there. We're doing the Radio City Music Hall, and we're throwing a lot of parties this week and doing some things around New York, you know, to let everybody feel that the UFC's in town and let them know how big it would be if it was at MSG. Okay?
Hey Dana, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
First time, I mean big time, long time fan, first time caller. I'm literally pissing my pants right now. I got every UFC fanboy's wet dream here. The only thing that would make it better would be sitting in your lap right now, Dana.
What do you say, Dana?
Security! I just want to thank you for everything you've done for the UFC.
Thank you.
We have something to look up to every 2 or 3 weeks instead of waiting another season for baseball or football. So thank you for everything. I have a question for Frank, and I requested you, so let me ask Frank first. When do you think a fighter should avenge a loss? Do you want to avenge every time you lose, or do you want to choose this specific loss that you want to avenge to? And Dana, I see this every time, and I'm going to ask, otherwise I'm not going to have it. I don't even have a phone or Twitter, but I couldn't buy a ticket, so if there's any extra tickets you can give to me, I would really appreciate it.
You better get on Twitter quick.
I'll buy a phone tonight, but
I made friends with somebody who's on Twitter right here.
I couldn't buy the ticket, I got tickets. I have Dan Hardy, JSP, and Frank.
I got extra tickets, bro.
I think I'm going to have to see them again, another same show, so I'll swallow my pride if you have anything for me.
Question for Dan Hardy. So if it does go to the ground, which you know his takedowns are good, probably will end up in it at some point, you're going to try and defend the takedown? You're going to look for submission, or you're going to try and get back up? Do you have any submissions in your bag of tricks?
My plan was actually to lay down and start on my back. Yeah, you know, when you fight a guy, you know, who's got such good wrestling, you accept at some point you're going to get taken down, unless obviously I'm working wrong, you know, and then obviously I don't have to worry about the takedown. But at some point, you know, no doubt I'm going to end up on my back. I'm planning on having a tough fight, and I'm prepared for 25 minutes of war. So whatever he's got to throw at me, I'll be ready to throw some back.
Hello, my question is for Dana. You recently signed James Toney to a contract, and I was wondering if there's any potential opponents, and how do you deal with people calling it a freak show?
Listen, I'm the first one to call stuff like this a freak show, and you know, this is one of those weird things that, you know, James Toney was chasing me around. We talked a few times. You know, he's the guy whom I respect as a fighter and as a boxer, and there's been this whole boxing versus mixed martial arts thing forever. You know, to be honest, I don't know why I did it. I did it, and people keep asking me what's next for him, who's he going to fight. I have no idea. You know, we did this deal, and now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with him and how I'm going to do this thing. And basically, he claims that he's been working on it. Listen, and I'll tell you guys, this is exactly what James Toney said. We were sitting in my office one day, and he said to me, you know, I'm a proud guy. I'm proud of what I've accomplished in my life. You know, I came from nothing, and you know, everything that I've accomplished, I'm very proud of, and I would never do anything to embarrass myself or my family. And I know a lot more than you think I know, is what he said to me. So we'll find out what he does know and what he doesn't know. I mean, I think he's getting a little crazy calling out Anderson and all these other guys. But
one more question. Do you think you'll be going back to Dublin, Ireland anytime soon?
What's that?
Do you think you'll be bringing the UFC back to Dublin?
To Dublin? No, we are this year for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're going back to Dublin this year for sure.
Yeah. Love you guys.
All right.
To hang out with you for one night while you're here.
Me?
With you, to be your VIP guest, to hang out with you all night and meet these guys and have a good time. That's my dream.
Sound like
Backstage, I want to hang out with you. It would be the world to me.
I love you, man.
Huh?
Done. Talk to Tom over there.
That was my question.
He's looking at me like I'm messing with him. Seriously, go talk to him. Now nobody else can ask me that. He got it.
That was cool. My question's for you, Dana.